everybody, and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac, and we are back playing some FTB Infinity for episode 27, and I've got some pretty big plans for what I want to do today. Today, we are going to do some stuff that is pretty freaking cool, pretty complex, but also at the same time pretty awesome. But before we get into that, I want to go over a couple of things that I have done since the end of last episode, mostly just moving stuff around. First of all, I moved the Ignis extruder. It's now over here next to the lava, and we've been making a butt ton of obsidian since the end of last episode, the reason for which will become obvious a little later on in the episode. I also went ahead and moved my End machines over here and filled up my wireless terminal that we made at the end of last episode as well, and I'll probably go ahead and fill in that gap over there with some kind of thermal expansion machine at some point in the future. We also got the Ender Coil up and running, and I've left it going for about 24 hours now since the end of last episode. So we have a bunch of stuff. If we go ahead and type in iron, we've got 522 iron. If we go ahead and just jump through into the Mistcraft age again, kind of tripped over my words a little bit there, but if we jump into the Mistcraft age, it is just over here. You can see it there working its way in the distance. Doesn't look like anything's happened because, of course, the Ender Coil just replaces everything with dirt. But if we go ahead and kind of just open this up, we've got lots of stuff. We've got 17 diamonds, bunch of coal. I'll take a few of those. I will definitely take that nether quartz because we are going to need that. And I think for now, that's probably about all we're going to need. We will move all of this stuff over eventually, but for now, I'm just going to grab all that stuff. This thing is still running and doing its thing, so I'll kind of leave that there. And now it's time to get on to the really cool stuff that I want to get done this episode. So, what I want to do, what I want to have achieved by the end of this episode is I want to have killed the Wither, because we need a nether star. Now, the only problem with us killing the Wither is our armor, really. Our armor is kind of terrible, really. The jetpack and the goggles of revealing don't add any protection at all, and we have iron legs and iron boots. So we have kind of terrible protection, to the point where we probably lose health by, like, just jumping off this house. If we were to just do this, we would probably actually just take damage. Yeah, well, not really, but you heard the sound. It counts. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to be a little bit cowardly, and we're going to kill the Wither inside of a box that it can't get out of. Yes, what we're going to do is, to start with, we are going to make something called Reinforced Obsidian. I couldn't quite think of the name there. I knew it was Obsidian something. Reinforced Obsidian, the main characteristic of which is that it is wither-proof. And therefore, if the Wither explodes whilst it's in there, because of course when you summon the Wither, it kind of charges up for a few seconds and then explodes. Once that Wither explodes, it will not break this Reinforced Obsidian. And the way that you make Reinforced Obsidian is using a bunch of dark steel, as well as some dark iron bars, which are made using even more dark steel, and a piece of obsidian, which is why we have a ton of obsidian, because the way you make dark steel is using yet more obsidian, and some iron, and some pulverized coal. So, the plan is to have it kind of over here. Now, I might move it at some point, because I don't think it really belongs in the Thorncraft room, but I'm going to have it here, and we're going to have a little too-wide gap that's 3 tall for the Wither to spawn in. And if my calculations are correct, we're going to need about 231 obsidian, 231 iron, and 231 pulverized coal. So, being the prepared person that I am, I went ahead and pulverized up a bunch of coal between episodes. We don't quite have enough, but we can go ahead and grab some from here, and I might have thrown some in the sag mill. I did. Look at that. Boom. Prepared or what? And if we throw all those in, how much do we have? Pulverized coal, 265. Look at that. We've got more than enough. So we'll grab all of that stuff. We'll go ahead and grab most of our iron. Here we go. Iron will take quite a bit of you. And that's probably a bit too much. I think that's probably more like it. And quite a bit of obsidian. Like I said, I've been working to get quite a bit of this stuff as well. So we'll take like all of that. That should be enough. And basically, we're going to leave this thing running for a while until we have just a ton of dark steel, more than we could probably ever use in normal circumstances, but when you're making some super obsidian is kind of more than enough. So I'll just throw these in here for now so I can come and get them fairly easily. And whilst that's doing that, what we need to work on is getting the stuff to actually spawn the Wither. So in order to spawn the Wither, if you don't know for whatever reason, you need 4 soul sand and 3 Wither skeleton skulls. Now, to get Wither skeleton skulls, we could just go to the Nether and kill a ton of Wither skeletons, and I mean a ton, because the drop for Wither skeleton skulls is really, really small. Or we could tilt the odds in our favor just a little bit and get a sword with beheading. And the way we're going to do that is using our good old friend Tinker's Construct. So between episodes, I've gone ahead and made a sword blade pattern, a wide guard pattern, and got our good old tool rod pattern. And we're going to make ourselves an obsidian sword. Now, the reason why we're going to go with obsidian And I would kind of like some paper here. Now, actually, somebody said, a lot of people actually have said, that we should make a presser. This guy here, let's see, do we have what it takes? Because apparently this turns wood directly into paper. Now, if that's true, that's kind of awesome. Let's have a look. Wood. And I don't even know if it requires power, but if we take this, and I guess for now we'll put it here. Let's see, I don't think it requires power. If we just put wood in there, does that turn it into paper? The suspense. It does! Look at that! It turns wood straight into paper. Now, I think we get a little bit less paper per wood, but I kind of like this. I'm just going to leave that there and let it do its thing. And we need paper, and the reason why I'm going to use paper, again, will become clear in just a second. And also, the reason why I'm using obsidian is because it means we don't have to use the smeltery, and we don't really have to use the tool forge. So, let's go to the part builder, this guy over here. We're going to build the sword blade out of obsidian, like so. Like I said, fairly strong and doesn't need the smeltery in order to make it. The guard is going to be made out of paper because this gives us an extra modifier when making the tool, and you'll kind of see what modifiers are in a second if you don't already know what they are. And then the rod is also going to be made out of obsidian, like so. And we got an obsidian shard over here if we ever want to make some more. And then if we run over to our tool station, grab this guy over here, throw all these together, boom, boom, and boom. I think we're on the wrong one, but that's fine. It gets us an obsidian broadsword. Nice. And then basically what we can do with this is if we put it back in, like this, you can see over here it says modifiers remaining 4. Now, if we hadn't have used paper for the binding there, we'd only have 3. So using paper for some part of the tool gives it that extra modifier, which is very useful for what we're going to do, because in order to get beheading, we need to use the ender pearls, and you guessed it, even more obsidian. So, if we do something like this, boom, and you'll see that it says beheading. So take that, it now has beheading 1. Do it again, it's got beheading 2. Do it again, it's got beheading 3, and now we have 1 modifier remaining, which I'm going to go ahead and use to add some attack damage to this thing, because as of right now, it's not the strongest in the world, and I want to be able to kill these wither skeletons as fast as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some quartz. So if we go ahead and grab some of that quartz that we just threw into our AE system, thank you very much. We'll take about half of what we've got there, and we'll do something like this, make it into blocks just to make it quicker to add onto our sword. And the way the sharpness works, unlike adding the beheading, it's not like a leveled thing. Basically, adding 1 block of quartz will give us 4 levels, so we can do this a couple of times over, and once we reach 72, that will have used up 1 modifier. So we'll keep doing this again, and again, and again, and again, and we could do it a few more times, quite a lot more times actually, until we go up to 72, but for now, we managed to bump the damage up to 8, so plus 8 attack damage, which I think makes it stronger than a diamond sword. Let's have a look here. I think diamonds are 7. It is, so this thing is now stronger than a diamond sword and has a beheading 3, so, and reinforced 3 as well. So it's actually quite likely that it will get us ahead when we kill some wither skeletons. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go away. I'm going to keep filling this thing up every so often with obsidian, with iron, and with pulverized coal constantly until it's got all of the dark steel that we need. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into the nether. Go back to that fortress where we got the blaze spawner originally, and try and kill as many wither skeletons as it takes in order to get ourselves the 3 wither skeleton skulls. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, so quite a while later, and we managed to get ourselves 3 wither skeleton skulls, as well as a bunch of soul sand, so we do have what it takes now to spawn the wither. However, we are not quite there yet on the dark steel. It is still working away. We've got 3 stacks. We need just shy of 4, so we're going to leave that thing working. However, there are a few things that we can be working on in the meantime, and that is what's going to actually kill the wither. And did I just hear a cat? I did. Is it in the wall? I broke the torch inside this wall, so it's probably hiding out in here. You in there? Hello? Where the heck's the cat at? Huh. There is a cat somewhere in the base, and I have no idea where it is. That's fine. We can ignore the cat for now. If we can't see it, it's not a problem. But basically, once we've got all of this reinforced obsidian around and we spawn the wither in, how are we going to kill it? Because it's surrounded by obsidian. We can't get in there to kill it without breaking the obsidian, at which point it might be able to get its way out. Now, We probably could just cut a hole in the middle and attack it, but that's the boring way. No one likes to do it the boring way. We're going to do it a bit of a funner way. We're going to use another machine from Ender.io called the Killer Joe, which actually has the ability to hit the Wither through the reinforced obsidian. So, in order to make the Killer Joe, this guy over here, we are going to need yet more dark steel, some fused quartz, which is why I was glad we brought the quartz back, so we are going to have to go ahead and throw some more of this into the alloy smelter. So I'm going to really quickly just stop this for a second. And that should get us enough, because I think that gets us 4, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no, it doesn't get us 1. Oh, we are going to need a ton of nether quartz. Okay, that's fine. We already have 3. We only need 5 in total. So yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. We'll throw those back in. Thank you very much. Let that finish off what it's doing. And then the final thing that we're going to need is this guy in the middle, the Franken Zombie, which is a bit of a pain to make. Now, the way it's made is in a soul binder, we need to combine a Z-Logic controller and a soul vial with a zombie in it. Now, soul vials are fairly easy. They are some solarium ingots with 3 fused quartz, which is more fused quartz. Solarium is made using soul sand and gold. Fairly easy stuff. And then this guy, the Z-Logic controller, is made in a machine called a Slice and Splice with an iron axe, a shears, 2 more solarium, a zombie head, 2 silicon, and a redstone. So, let's go ahead and start by trying to make the Slice and Splice. This thing should be fairly easy, just requires quite a bit of solarium. Do we have any soul sand? We have a little bit. We're going to need, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 solarium, I think. And I think that's just 8 soul sand and 8 gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll take that, and we'll throw that into the alloy smelter for a second. Again, we're going to have to pause this. Okay, so whilst I was waiting for those solarium ingots to smelt up, I went ahead and made all of the rest of the stuff, so we should be able to go ahead and make ourselves the Slice and Splice. Nice. Slice and Splice, nice. That kind of rhymed a little bit there. Unintentional. Let's go ahead and grab an energy conduit. Here we go. Got some line around. We'll take you and then do something like this. Stick that down there. And now we need an iron axe and some shears. So another iron axe and another set of shears. Like so. I'll throw both of you away to actually run the thing. Now, these don't get used up, but they do get used up over time. Like, they don't get used up every time you make something, but over time, the durability will wear down, and you will have to replace these every so often. And then in order to make the Franken Zombie, and I'm just going to type, yeah, Franken Zombie, this guy over here, which really needs a Z-Logic controller, we need 2 more solarium, 2 silicon, a zombie head, and some redstone. So silicon, we have. Let's get rid of you, and you for now, as well as the nether wart. We don't need that just yet. What else do we need? Redstone. Thank you very much. We've still got the solarium. And then finally, we needed a zombie head. Thank you. And I think that's about everything. Zombie head at the top, you at the bottom, silicon either side, and then solarium at the top. Nice. That's going to go ahead and make us a Z-Logic controller. Whilst that's doing that, we can work on getting the soul binding machine, which is actually one of the harder machines to make. It requires an Enderman head, which is a rare drop from Enderman, and then one zombie head, 1 skeleton head, and 1 creeper head, as well as 4 more solarium. So again, we're going to have to go ahead and make a little bit more using our soul sand, which just means we need a little bit more gold. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully, that will be the last soul sand that we need to make today. This stuff is moving on nicely. Thankfully, the solarium here takes less time to make than the dark steel does. You can tell how long it's going to take, because if you go to the recipe, this thing takes 10,000 redstone flux to make. The dark steel takes 20,000 redstone flux to make, so it takes twice as long to make the dark steel ingots as it does to make these. So hopefully that won't take too long. We now have ourselves a Franken Zombie. We could throw that in there. Do we have a zombie lying around in our system? We do. He's all the way over there. We could probably actually grab him, because what we need to do is we need to get a soul vial, which I think actually is going to require a few more solarium ingots, isn't it? I think at least 1, which I think we can actually make, but that does mean that we should get 1 more gold and get this smelting up. Like so. Gold, and yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. And then I think it's just this solarium. Fuse quartz, fuse quartz, fuse quartz. Yep, that gets us a soul vial. And this is kind of like the golden lasso that we made earlier. It can basically capture the essence of a mob within it. So if we stand over here and just kind of right-click on that guy, we get a zombie. Look at that. Boom. Soul vial with a zombie in it. Beautiful. That's all we need. We can just keep him, and we could release him at any time by right-clicking, and we would get the vial back. But that's not what we're going to do. Instead, we're going to use him to make a Franken Zombie. So let's take all of those. Let's again throw these guys back in there to kind of finish up. Although I think we probably do have enough now. It's always nice to be on the safe side. Let's see if we can get ourselves a soul binder. We probably are going to need another machine chassis. Boom. Boom. And boom. Boom. Nice. I guess it's a soul binder. Kind of running out of places to put this thing now. I guess I'm going to put it here for now because we don't really need you there just yet. And actually, in fact, I'm going to move this. We probably don't need this crafting station here anymore. What I'm going to do, the only reason that was there was to make the paper, which we don't really need now. But I will go ahead and put this back over here just in case we need to craft it while we're in that room. And we'll go ahead and put down the capacitor back right on the end here. Look at this. We've got a nice little wall of Ender IO machines right now. I love it. Boom. And not quite sure that went dark, but if we throw you in there with the Franken Zombie, which I probably put in the AE system, which I didn't put in the AE system. That's because it's not called a Franken Zombie yet, it's called a Z-Logic controller. Let's take you and throw that in there. Does require 10 levels, we're going to take them from the player, and that should go ahead and start to get us the Franken Zombie. Nice. And then once we've got that, we should have pretty much everything we need to make the Killer Joe. So whilst it's doing that, let's see if we finally have what it takes to make all of the reinforced obsidian that we're going to need. So here we go, let's just make quite a few of these, and I'm just going to throw all of this into the AE system to make this a bit easier. Let's see. Boom, boom. Not quite sure how many of these we're going to need. I'll take a stack and a bit for now, and we'll just make as many as we can. And a little while later, we have something that looks like this. So I'm going to leave this open for the time being so we can go in there and stick down all the stuff for the wither. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put most of it down right now and just kind of hold on to that last skull just until the end. And now we should have ourselves the Franken Zombie, and we should be able to make the Killer Joe. That's what it's called. We do get the Soul Valve back, which is kind of nice. We can use that later on if we so wish. I will throw that into the AE system, and let's see if we have what it takes to make the Killer Joe. Boom. Boom. Oh, really? We're missing Ender Steel of all things? Really? Really? Oh, it's okay. We have some more. It's fine. It's fine. We have a little bit more. Boom. Killer Joe, done. Nice. So the way that this guy works is you can stick him down pretty much anywhere, and he kind of kills anything in front of him in kind of, I think, a little like, he should reach this guy. He should. I say wearily. I think he can reach all the way back there. And really all you have to provide him with are a few things. A sword and then some nutrients. A nutrient distillation is a liquid from Ender IO, which we are going to have to make and provide to the Killer Joe in order for it to work. Now, unfortunately, I'm fairly certain it can't accept Tinker's tools, so I don't think we could stick this guy in it, although I might be wrong. I'm not. It doesn't. It does accept tools from Ender IO, obviously. It's from Ender IO. So we'll go ahead and stick that in there for now. And then in order to make the nutrient distillation, what we need is a vat. It's a machine, again, from Ender IO. And in order to get the vat, we need something like this. This thing is made with some electric steel, which we almost have enough of. What do we need for that? Again, this is silicon, coal dust, and iron. So all we need to do here is grab some of the silicon we got on us and do something like, I keep thinking this is the alloy smelter for whatever reason. Throw that in there. That should get us some of the electric steel. Whilst that's doing that, I'm actually just going to go ahead and take that out so it doesn't make too many, because we do kind of want that silicon for applied energistics later on. We can make a cauldron. We can make ourselves 2 of these fluid tanks, which require a little few more iron bars. Little few is a real term, just made it up now. You can tell it to your friends. There we go, we'll throw that in there. Furnace, fairly easy, throw you in the middle. Machine chassis, again, fairly easy stuff if you happen to have everything, which I'm pretty sure we do. Throw you in there. And then all we're missing is that 1 electric steel, which is in there. Throw that up like that, and we get ourselves a vat. Nice. And then basically what we're going to do for this is this thing does require power, so for the time being, I'm going to put it like in here. Eventually I'll run power cables over to where the Killer Joe is. The Killer Joe doesn't require power, by the way. But for now, let's put that there. And in order to make, actually, no, I'm not going to put it there. I'm not. I lied. I'm going to put it, oh, what, did I get that back? I did. Okay. Whew. Where I'm going to put it instead is over near the unlimited water source that we have in here. And the reason for that is because then we can actually use the unlimited water source. So that works. And we should have, I was going to say some ender fluid conduits, but we actually have fluid ducts from thermodynamics. I just remembered as I walked past these right here that are actually doing nothing whatsoever. This thing does require an unlimited amount of water, so I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. It's a bit sloppy, I know, but it'll work for now. I will make it look nicer between episodes. Do we happen to have a server of any kind? We do. It is one that requires a lever, so we're going to go ahead and just grab this. Thank you very much. You're always so kind. And then we should, I think you can only pull out the top and bottom of these, so what we'll do is we'll do something like, actually, let's try this. It might work, although I'm fairly certain it won't. It does. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So that's going to fill that up with water. It does require water to work, as well as power. And then you can make a bunch of different liquids from Ender IO with this. But in order to make the nutrient distillation that we're going to make, you need to combine something like zombie brains with something like nether wart. Now, those are not the only two items you can use. You can also use sugar and zombie brains. I think you can also use like sugar and any meat that drops from a vanilla animal, so like cows, chickens, and pigs. But for now, we're going to use nether wart and zombie brains because we have nether wart and zombie brains. You can also use sugar in replace of nether wart, and I think fermented spider eyes. There's quite a few things you can use, but for now we're going to use these two, and that should go ahead and produce some nutrient distillation, which I think we should then be able to pull out using a bucket. Now, I'm not too sure how much nutrient distillation the killer joy is actually going to need to kill the wither. Hopefully, not a massive amount is my hope. Let's get a tank actually here to hold the nutrient distillation. Don't know why I typed in nutrient. Tank. Do we have one? We have this, and this will be fine for now. It does mean we can't move it around. Actually, no. What we'll do instead, actually, is we'll throw it there. We'll make another one of the copper tanks from thermal expansion. Another one of... if I can find them, these down here. These are really easy to make. We'll take one of those, and basically what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to let this thing fill up with the stuff from the vat. Hopefully, if I put that there, go into configure IO, and then right-click on the top to push, it should output all of the stuff to there. It does. Very nice indeed. This thing is now filling up nicely with some nutrient distillation. I'm going to let this thing fill up to pretty much max, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so once that's filled up, we can go ahead and grab that. We're going to stick it right on top of the killer jar, set it to output, at which point it should start to empty its contents into the killer jar, like so. We'll just right-click. There we go. Beautiful. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have to move this like that. We're going to place down that last skull. Hopefully I can kind of reach it. There we go. Where's our obsidian? There it is. Let's put that... oh, no. Okay. Oh, no. It's going to blow up the killer jar. Oh, no. It didn't. It didn't. Oh, look, it's dying. Go, killer jar, go. It's working. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's very loud. It's very, very loud indeed. But the killer jar is going to town using about 5 millibuckets every second-ish, or maybe 10 a second. Something like that. But all we have to do is just sit back, relax, maybe go grab a sound muffler so that it's not so ridiculously loud over there. Hopefully we can get back before he dies. And it looks like we're not going to, because this guy is just so fast. And then all we have to do is just break some of this steel, which thankfully is a lot easier to break than obsidian as well, which is kind of nice. So we'll take you. And once we get inside here, we should have all of the wither drops. Look at that. Oh, and the killer jar's killing us. Oh, wow. Well, don't forget to take the sword away from your killer jar before you get in to there. We got killed by Eo Kilara. Kilara? Not quite sure. Let's take you out of there, thank you very much. And let's try and get our stuff back. Thank you. Oh, we got another cube. Look at that. Beautiful. So, now we have a way of basically getting almost unlimited amounts of nether stars. All we have to do now is get ourselves a bunch more wither skeleton skulls. And what I'm going to do between episodes is I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch more of these. I think about 5 we're going to have in total, because there is something pretty cool I want to make next episode that requires quite a few nether stars, but you have to wait until then to find out. So, for now, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like. I'm going to quickly get rid of this, and I will see you guys next time.